Welcome back to the Mountain Morning Show. Oh gosh. Welcome back to the Mountain Morning Show. I'm joined by my friend Phil Humbert, author of A Recruiter Guy's Guide to Finding a Job and recent new member of the Park City leadership team for this coming year. Congratulations. That's
Thanks, Chelsea.
Really impressive.
Well, you know, I am so honored and so excited, and I can't wait to get started. So this is, you know, we're class 20 too. Can you imagine Miles and Renee have done this for, this is going to be the 20th year.
It's amazing.
It's amazing.
It's a really popular program going on, so I'm thrilled to hear what you're going to be up to for the next year. That's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it'll be really exciting.
Very cool. Well, I mentioned earlier on the show, we've been going through some updates in terms of your LinkedIn profile. We've kind of done a little series of ways to optimize your LinkedIn account. So this morning, we're kind of rounding all that up, talking about some highlights as well as one last area that we should be working on, being groups. But first off, I wanted to share with you, first off, that I learned a lot from our discussions in terms of everywhere from adding YouTube videos of important or particularly enjoyable interviews I did, things like that really showcase my skills. And there's also other ways you can utilize that, to changing your URL to make your searches more easily, to make your name pop up easier, and just including little details that really add enormously to your account. All those things have been really helpful to me.
Good, good. Well, you know, it's really interesting how LinkedIn has evolved and how people have used it, and also what they've done to make it easier for people to use. So, but doing the little changes like the editing your personal URL, those all really work well for the new person getting in and just beginning to use LinkedIn, and it's really easy to do. And then, wonderful. You know, the YouTube videos, we talked about that a little bit briefly. You know, you can even put your hobbies up there, especially if your hobby may be tied to some aspect of what you do in work. I wouldn't do the one where I got fired, I quit.
Well, we did see you dancing out there earlier.
Yeah, I was out there dancing.
We should have grabbed some video of that, put that on your account. How would you feel about that, Bill? But hey, if you are a stand-up comedian and you're looking, that would have been perfect. But I don't know, Bill, if that's maybe in line with what
you know, it's not really
for.
me too much. Well, it's the side of me that people don't see maybe very often.
Maybe that would work. You could bring in some new clients.
Exactly.
But I love that you bring that up. There are so many ways you can utilize that publication section in terms of adding videos. I have friends who they do like business consulting, and they put up videos on their own websites that give information or tips in relation to various subjects relating to business growth. That's something else you can add to your LinkedIn account that I don't think people often think of adding to.
Oh, absolutely. You know, and those whiteboards that you can do now yourself. I don't have you seen any of those?
Explain more.
UPS had one as a commercial not long ago, and so they're talking about Brown, and they had a guy who had a whiteboard, and I have not done this, so I can't really go into any detail, but I think if you Google whiteboard presentations or something, it might pop up.
Oh, okay.
And so you can actually do one for yourself, and I know people have done it for the business. So it's kind of another
feature you can add on.
Well,
it keeps on expanding.
Exactly. Well, you can use it in your publication.
Oh,
the whiteboard on why to use Brown or FedEx or whoever.
Cool. See, I didn't know that. Still learning things about it. Very good. Well, one of the other features that is one thing I mentioned before, unfortunately I'm not utilizing as well as I could, it involves groups. I'm a member of a couple of groups, from the university I attended to previous jobs I had in relation to groups I got involved in through them, but I haven't really done anything besides joining. What is it about groups that we need to know?
Well, groups are really important because it's a way for you to get your name out there in the area that you're really interested. For instance, when you go to my profile and you look at my groups, and I have to apologize, sometimes I'm a little slow, and this morning I was in the shower and I went, I should group my groups. And so when you look at my groups, you can see DeMatha Catholic High School, you can see HR, down further you can see SHRM, and so the way to group your groups could be the ones that you've created. I created the Park City Career Network group. I created the mainstream community of experts group, and I created another group that's primarily geared towards human resources and recruiting. And so you promote discussions on those groups. And when you join a group, it's important to participate in that group.
How do you do that? How do you even choose what to respond to? Because I, for one, I see posts from people in my group, but I don't even look at that usually, and which is bad. I probably should be doing that, right?
You know, it's probably a good idea. A lot depends on what you're using it for.
Okay.
If you're using your group to get out there and actually promote your knowledge, so you're marketing yourself, you're branding yourself, it's good to respond to those. One of the things that I don't do, I look at the discussion, and if I see more than 20 responses, I generally don't respond. Because nobody's going to read my post. But if I'm in, the top 5, top 10, chances are I'll respond a little tidbit of my knowledge, and then then move on. So it's important to use it as an exercise to brand yourself and to get the right information out there.
Okay, so I guess the way it works is, like you said, there's various groups either created by pretty much any organization or corporation or even business, and some that you can actually create your own groups, right?
Exactly.
Like you've done. And the idea is to kind of promote this dialogue in relation to the subject, right? Or what else do they do?
Well, they have that. They have jobs in the groups. People will post jobs that are, relative to that area. One of the groups that I belong to is PeopleSoft Consultants, because I was doing a search for PeopleSoft consultants at one point. I thought, well, I'll join this group. Automatically now I'll have 3,000 people that I can start looking at.
Nice.
And so, so I use groups for different purposes. I have the groups that I use for sourcing potential candidates for my clients. I have groups that I use that are more personal, like my college and my high school. I have groups that I use that are more professional from a recruiting, human resource perspective. So I have my groups in different categories. And then I also have the local groups like Link Park City and Link Salt Lake City that I belong to too. So you can group your groups, and it's really easy to do that. And until this morning, I didn't get smart enough to do it.
It was one of those. You see, it was a shower
It was
moment.
a shower
that shower
moment.
inspiration.
The shower,
That's where it came from. That happens to me too. Well, my question for you then is, obviously, it seems that you choose the groups that you want to join based off, of course, your professional background or your interests or previous companies maybe that you've worked for. That's my idea of it anyway. So for me to get more involved in this, it sounds like it would be prudent for me to find out groups that are media related or journalistically related, or that a lot of reporters or producers or parts of, or even filmmakers for that matter, right?
Absolutely, because
I can connect with that
you can
network
connect
more.
with that network, and then if you make some comments that are really on target, then what will happen is some of those people and possibly producers will go, I want to know more about Chelsea. And so then they'll go to your site, and you have your publications area with your YouTube videos and your interviews, and they're going, wow, hey, these are pretty good. I'm going to contact her. And so they'll either see where you work and call you here, or they may just send an in-mail, or they may ask you to connect and then send essentially an in-mail that way.
Wonderful. All right. Well, I'm excited to jump on that now and finally use that resource. So to wrap things up, what else do we need to know? Any last words in terms of LinkedIn, how we can get the most out of that?
Well, kind of keep an eye on LinkedIn, because they continually add new areas within LinkedIn that you can use for your own purposes and to use to also serve other people. So I would say we're probably not done, because they keep adding things. And as we explore those new things that they're adding, then we'll probably be discussing them.
Absolutely. So for now, we've kind of wrapped up what, the basics of what you need to know. But as soon as one of those new features pops up, or we feel a need to give you guys another update on what's going on, we'll certainly bring that up in our subject again in the coming months.
Yep.
Wonderful. Well, where can we find out more about you online and on LinkedIn?
Well, LinkedIn, I'm RecruiterGuy. That makes it easy. And I am www.recruiterguy.com.
All right, very good. Bill, thank you,
Chelsea,
as usual.
thank you.
Pleasure to have you here. We look forward to next month to getting more tips and highlights from what's going on with you and in the job recruiting world on both the employer side and the employee side. So thank you, as usual, for your tips.
It's fun.
We'll be right back after this quick break. We're going to be talking with Sheriff Edmonds. He actually was awarded Sheriff of the Year. This is pretty impressive. From Summit County, kind of a big deal. He's coming up in just a minute.